Hello and welcome to The Letterhead, the channel where we talk about sign painting, gold leaf and everything in between. And today we are going to be looking at brushes, and I've got 3 different types of brushes in here, and all of different kind of variety and different price ranges, and we're going to give them an honest review and see what one's the best. Let's get into it. So when you're in the market for some new brushes, it can be really daunting because there are a lot of options and it can get really confusing. You'll find that you'll need to do a lot of research into working out what kind of brushes are best for the kind of applications that you're going to use them for. The firmness, thickness and the structure of the brush plays a large part into how it performs on different surfaces. You'll find that some brushes are really good on glass, and the same brushes that are great on glass might not be too great to use on a more rough surface. So to test this all out, I've run a series of in-depth experiments, looking at how sharp they are, how easy they are to use, and how much paint they carry. Now I'm going to speed through this because I really don't want to bore you with all the science mumbo jumbo. Just know that my experiment was incredibly thorough and to the highest of scientific degrees. The first brush I'm going to be looking at today is one that I used for a really long time because I got these quite a while back when I was starting to get together my own kit instead of just using my dad's one. So I got these brushes at first, and this I got from Handovers, and it's a synthetic Sable brush. This is the firmest of all the 3 brushes that I'm going to be looking at, and the reason why it's got quite thick hairs, but because of that it doesn't seem to hold quite as much paint as the natural hair brushes. But it does hold its shape really well, and you can get quite a nice sharp edge from this, but just don't expect to be colouring too much of the layer. The synthetic brush is by far one of the cheapest options as well, which is kind of why I got this one first. Money wasn't too great at the time, so I figured I'd just start off with the synthetic brushes and kind of work my way in from there. So yeah, these were the first ones I used. If you watch a lot of my early videos, I'll be using these ones. A lot of you bloody complain about the amount of brush strokes. Probably didn't help that I was using this thing. And as we saw from the video earlier on today, it did not have a very good paint distribution either. Really hard to get a good shape with it in the end. Kind of disappointed. And now I've used some of the other brushes, it really pales in comparison. If I was going to rate this brush out of 10, probably a 3.5. 3.5, I've spoken. Done. 3.5. I'm sorry. There is one thing that I would use this for, however. If you do have to do a job with water-based paints, or paints that you don't necessarily want to use your softer brushes for, your real hair brushes, then I would certainly use this. So keep them. You never know when they'll come in handy. Just don't expect greatness from them. Anyway, on to the next one. The next brush I'm going to be looking at is the real Sable hairbrush. This one is also from Handovers, but this one is a lot better than that. And I've dipped a little white thing on the end so I can see it in the box. Now the first thing that's really noticeable about this brush is its hairs are a lot thinner than the hairs on the synthetic brush. They are a lot softer and a lot thinner. Straight off the bat, this thing is able to hold a lot more paint. And from the test, I was actually able to get a sharper edge from it, despite the fact that there are a lot softer hairs. So this thing, I've only recently got this, and I'm absolutely blown away. Now the brush itself is a 2112 Sable chisel brush, right? Let's try that one again. The brush is called 2112 Sable Chisel Writer, and the size that I'm using today is a 6. Genuinely really impressed with this brush. Just like the synthetic brush, it has really long hairs to it, and that's able to just hold so much paint, and because it's so soft, it's really easy to control as well. Sometimes you'll find with the firmer brushes, they kind of got a lot of spring to it, and that can cause it to be a bit more difficult to control. This thing, really good, really love it. Only recently got them, wish I got them sooner. The reason why I waited so long on these brushes is that they're quite a bit more expensive than the synthetic brushes. Quite a bit more, but definitely worth the money. If I was going to rate this brush, I'd stick that straight up there with an 8 out of 10. Absolutely great, fantastic. And that is the 2112 Sable Chisel Writer. Now this, the third brush, is the MAC 179, and this one I did buy from Handovers, but it is made by MAC brushes. Now this is the softest of all the brushes. This is brown Kazan squirrel hair, and this one is absolutely great. Absolutely love this one. It's particularly good on glass because of its extra soft hairs, and it holds so much paint, bearing in mind that the hair on this brush is considerably shorter than the hair on the other brushes. And I just love that quill too. It's really easy to hold, and it just kind of grips into your hand really nice, and you're able to get such a nice twist on it. Just absolutely great. Love this brush, and it performed really well on the test as well, despite my lack of skill of one-stroke lettering, which is frankly appalling. Definitely something I've got to work on, but not something I traditionally did too much of. My career started off at my family business, and to be honest, most of my training was done on jobs. Didn't really have your traditional sewn painting trainings as such, so one-stroke lettering definitely not my style, but this thing performed really good. Now, to be honest, rating this one amongst the other ones is kind of difficult because it is made for something kind of different. It's a very specific brush, and you kind of want to be using it on the smoothest of all surfaces. But if I had to pen a number down on the quality of this brush and how easy it is to use, I'd say probably a 7.5. I still really prefer this brush, and even on glass, I actually really like this brush as well when I tried it on glass. So I mean, this thing, really good, definitely worth the money because it is actually not as expensive as the Sable brush. This one actually quite reasonably priced. Probably something you'll want to put in your box. A lot of you will be very familiar with MAC brushes. I know they make them in the States, unlike the Handovers brushes, which these are from the UK. But seeing as the price is so good, I still end up getting these from Handovers in the UK anyway. I would definitely look at their website. They have so much stuff on there, and they recently got a new website too, and it's really easy to use. You'll get a great selection of brushes, and to be honest, a really good price as well. Definitely a resource that you want to be looking at. Just remember, when you're done using your brushes, make sure to clean them well, oil them up, and store them well. And with all those bases covered, these brushes will last you a really long time. My standout winner for brushes that I think you really should get is the Sable brush. Really good. Definitely get yourself one of these. Much more expensive than the other brushes, but definitely worth it. So there it is. There is my review of these 3 sewn painting brushes that you can get today. Some of them better than others, some a lot more expensive than others. Just go through, do your research, see what one you think will be best for you, and yeah, try them out. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit subscribe. If you want to support the channel, I got links below to a Buy Me a Coffee page where you can make a one-off contribution to the channel, and it really helps. To be honest, I spend a lot of money on the videos, and it ends up just coming out of my pocket, so any help that you guys can give, absolutely amazing. But if you can't and you don't want to, that's not a problem. Just like the video, subscribe, and that's all good. I've been Lewis the Letterhead, and I hope you liked the video. Until next time, bye bye.